I feel like I'm really in the infancy stages of being an advocate for my daughter. And, I'm a journalist, and writing is kind of who I am, not just what I do. And so I've always journaled. I've always been like a parenting blogger since I think my boys were born premature. That's kind of when I started blogging for different sites. And so I kind of just channeled all my feelings that way. And then that just kind of led to people saying oh, hey, I saw this blog that you wrote, would you be willing to share, a little bit about Nyla's story with us? And so most recently, Nyla was selected as a patient honoree for the children's hospital that she gets care at here. And then they asked me will you speak on her behalf? And so that was the first time I really said okay and did it. And it was so stressful. But for me, I just thought about it. And, a big thing in our CHD community is that a lot of moms, they don't know that their baby has a heart disease until the baby is born and is completely blue. And it's all hands on deck trying to save the baby, right after the baby's born. Thank God for us that I was able to find out because I was of advanced maternal age, and there was a special program, for older moms like me, so part of me speaking on her behalf was so that the hospital and, all the supporters understand that it's important that even younger women have access to that kind of a test, because it could save so many babies. The advocacy in that respect is really important to me. And even as my boys as siblings, I mentioned that they had just went back to school. They're in a public school, and I really had to advocate for my family as a whole, because they wanted them in separate classrooms. It's the whole thing oh no, twins have to be separated, they can't be together. And it was a whole summer of me literally having to get medical records and explain, I want them to go back in school, but I can't have them mixing with 50 different children because I have another little baby at home, and it was just the hoops I had to go through were really disheartening.
I appreciate you saying, I'm just at the beginning of this journey, because I also think that the advocacy takes different shape as, your kids get older, and it looks different. Sometimes there's, advocacy with a capital A, like you're talking about, really advocating for systems change or policy change. Mm-hmm. But there's sometimes, little a advocacy we do too. And, I think about for my child that has had some medical issues, and, when it came time for him to start school, needing to advocate on his behalf and help teachers understand, this is why some of the behaviors are there. This is a part of his history, and it's important that you understand that, instead of sometimes what can happen, jumping to a label well, this is a, disruptive kid, or whatever the case might be. I think you don't stop advocating for your child. And you just may not even realize the times that you need to, because sometimes we want to be so careful to not overstep or helicopter, but there are real times our kids need to help others understand these parts of their journey. And so I just think that the advocacy looks different at different stages of your child's life, and, your journey as a parent too.